Special K is here to stay, dominating last night in a great fight, which showed his ring cachet. I'd like to introduce myself first before I get started because I am about to go in on this guy from the UK in a good way. They call me the Fight Doctor, and I thank you guys for watching. And right now you guys are watching Master Boxing. And this is where we break the fight world down, round by round. Look, last night, this was absolutely a mismatch. And the fact of the matter is, Frankie Gavin belonged nowhere near the same ring as Special K. Special K is an elite fighter. And for those who had questions prior to him fighting Shawn Porter, which one of those people were me, of course, because I hadn't followed his career. But if you know me, you understand that I know boxing and I know fighters. I hadn't seen not one fight of him before he had fought Shawn Porter. So I went back into his archives and I checked him out a little. I was like, okay, he's dominating corny guys. Guys who aren't as well schooled as these American fighters, and the top UK fighters hadn't got into the ring with him. Namely Amir Khan, one of the top fighters on the planet, which definitely needs to do his just due. Instead of just chasing, eliminate those who are chasing, who've earned that spot. And I think that will warrant a fight against the pound for pound. So that's just how divisions are in boxing. And one good thing about what I do is I'm from the world of boxing, and it makes a lot of sense when you hear it from the horse's mouth. When a fighter has the opportunity in boxing, fighting people is what we call prize fighting, as you know already. Having an opportunity to fight someone who's gotten to the level that will warrant a fight and warrant money. That's what the entire thing is about. The fact that Amir Khan's handlers are not licking their chops for the opportunity to fight someone who's built their name, built their brand. Every individual fighter is a business, just like an IBM company or an Apple. You must understand that a guy like Manny Pacquiao can't go down and just fight anybody. Some up and coming guy, just say for instance Errol Spence Jr., who's an electric welterweight. But Manny Pacquiao can't fight him now. He hadn't built up his name. He hadn't built up his brand. You can't design a pair of flip-flops at your house and then walk into Hecht's or Nordstrom's or Macy's and expect for them to take in your product and start selling it. But the fact of the matter is, Kell Brook has built his brand. He's built a FUBU. He's built a Sean John. He's built a top level brand, and he's proven, you know, in the fight game, that's every businessman's dream. That the guy did what was necessary. You got the fighters out there like Keith Thurman who are consistently performing in front of the lights and truly has a nice camera cachet in front of all the audiences that he's been in front of, whether it was Showtime or now it's even on NBC or PBC, which is one of the top fight companies jumping off right now, thanks to Al Heyman putting that thing together. But the topic of discussion is just the fact that Kell Brook has done the necessary evils to get himself to that spot, and there's no one left to dominate. I mean, he put Gavin Reese in a sandwich bag and made Frito-Lays with him. I mean, it was absolutely a mixed match, and this was not something that the fans want to see right now. If you match Kell Brook in the ring with Amir Khan, one thing you're going to see is a fight for the country, because the country is a great country and they are true fight fans. So hats off if you're watching from the UK, because I love the UK fans. You're different. you're true to the blue, and you really bleed the sport of boxing. And in America, we love the game, but the mainstream boxing has kind of taken over on some level. Thanks to PBC, we'll get back to the blue collar great fights and great fighters that we have and that we build over here, so you guys can build up a champion over there, and maybe one day you'll get to see these fights. But I think without further ado that Amir Khan has one last thing on his plate over there in the UK, and it's Kell Brook. And then maybe he gets that fight with Floyd Mayweather. I think it's the simple fact that Floyd doesn't respect him. I don't think Floyd's team respects him because he hadn't had a shocking win yet. You know, he's getting through these fights, you know, but people want to see, I mean, when you're beating Luis Collazo, we want to see you dominate him, just like Kell Brook did Gavin last night. These things warrant a performance that says you're ready. If you beat someone that's solid and at the top of the game and being mentioned amongst the names, if you beat them convincingly, or just beat them, because a fight, like I said, this is where I make it interesting, because people, they misinterpret what it takes to be in a fight. If someone at your job comes and shoves you in the face, you know, in your head you can just dominate. But when the fight actually happens, because it's going to be a fight, that is if you respect your own gangster. When the fight actually happens, you know, you get your licks off, and next thing you know, they get their licks off, you're slamming each other around. It's an even like kind of fight, but it's not the way it played out in your head. It's the same way boxing fans are. I'm noticing this, that they're looking at the fights like fights are easy, where you got a man who trains for 8 weeks, eats, sleeps, dreams you, and then at the end of that 8 weeks, they get into the ring after being at weigh-ins and press conferences, getting up and getting under each other's skin like there's no tomorrow. Let me tell you something. You can go in the ring with anger you want to, but if you get caught up in the ring with anger and emotion, you lose. You have to understand how to pacify that rage and turn it into production, which is being calm. And that's why they call it a discipline, because you have to be calm under fire. You know, you get baptized by fire. And when you get in the ring, it's not water, it's fire. So I just have to kind of bring things to full circle, so you understand that fighting is not as easy as it looks, it appears. You don't feel the exhaustion. You don't feel the pain. You don't feel what they're overcoming in the moments. A lot of fighters, they cover it up well because they're aware, because they get to see themselves on video. And video is becoming. It makes you look a lot better than you feel. So you don't really get to see, or you don't really get to connect or feel unless you fought before. You don't truly understand that level of, oh my God, I feel like I'm going to die. How do I get through this? And your legs are conditioned, your body's conditioned to continuously move. And that's where people really take a back seat to understanding that it's not as easy as it appears. You got fighters like Floyd Mayweather who make it look easy. They're constantly moving around the ring. Who else is a very solid fighter? Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao's been hurt on the record many times, and when he gets hurt, he does his little glove patting thing and raises his hands. But that's a mental game he has to play with himself to get himself out of the mindset and make him forget the pain. But you just got to understand, if somebody walks up and taps you in the stomach, you may break down and hit the ground. And those things are, you're in a training camp, you're conditioned to overcome those things and hide them well, even your exhaustion. And I teach fighters, whenever you see any of our videos, our teaching videos, which are also on the site, you will see little things that I show in craft, not just the skills, but I've been in the game for a long time. I teach craft. My fighters understand how to maneuver in these situations and use their elbows and use their hips and utilize their legs. So, needless to say, when you got a guy like Kell Brook and Amir Khan, they get an opportunity to face off, they are fighting for something humongous. And the fact of the matter is that, you know, Amir Khan has not, well, it's not Amir Khan, it's his handlers. They have to set him up because he has a great corner in Virgil Hunter, excuse my French, that was a slip up. Because Virgil Hunter was also on the Olympic coaching team with my uncle, Coach Anthony Bradley, in the 2004 Olympics, where Andre Ward was the last USA fighter to win gold medal. So, hats off to Coach Virgil Hunter. He is one of the smartest coaches in the game. And what he brings to Amir Khan, you could see it in the fight the other night. And like I said, when you got that in the ring, you have a lot to deal with because he brings him into that corner. He makes him perform. He pulls that special thing out of him, like when Amir Khan performed in the 2004 Olympics. Needless to say, of course, Coach Hunter was in that Olympics as well. Amir Khan was in that Olympics, but they were not on the same sides then. The fact that they've joined forces shows 2004 was a special year. Amir Khan is a good fighter. He's a top fighter. He has to be great now by winning, and the fans of the rest of the fans that are Kell Brook's fans in the UK that demand that fight. And now you got Kell Brook, who's just a natural fighter. He's big, he's strong, he's a true solid welterweight. There's not a lot of those guys. You could have stuck him back in the 80s where all the welterweights was 5'10", 6 feet. And these guys were killers, and he's of that descent. Natural ability, adapts in the ring, switches southpaw back to conventional on the drop of a dime. This kid is the goods. They called me the fight doctor. And I thank you guys for watching. And you're watching Master Boxing right now. So take your little notes that you've gathered from the fight. If you didn't see it, go to the site www.masterboxingllc.com and watch the fight in its entirety. You'll enjoy the clinic that was put on by Kell Brook. And like I said before, be sure to stay tuned to the next matchup that we're going to do in our boxing gym. We're going to do a matchup of Sean Porter or Showtime Porter and Adrien Broner. This matchup will be great, and if you hadn't seen the old ones that I've done, welcome to the Fight Doctor's realm. And that's where we break the fight world down round by round.